There we go. Harmonica time. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Let's post the link on the website. Website is mammothgardens.com. And from there you'll get the sheet music and you will find out our whole harmonica program and how to learn how to play videos, lots of sheet music, all that stuff. Alright, there's that. Enter, edit, settings, open a new window, update. Alright, today is Tuesday, so we're playing Ode to Joy as our regular song. And then we have Soft Kitty, Streets of Laredo, What a Wonderful World, and America the Beautiful. Starting the chromatic list over again. It takes a while to get through the whole list. And so we're going back to the A's. Let's see, what else is going on? I think that's enough. Oh, I need to go post this. Oh, I got too many windows open. Let's go put this on Twitter real quick. I post these on Twitter, even though nobody reads Twitter. But there's a button you can just hit. Post on Twitter. https://mammothgardens.com. And the little logo we're using today is the -9 guy. Harmonica. Sad skull. -9, am I right? Open tweet. And then, there we go. And, alright. Nice. Alright, let's see. Let's close this out. Linda's in. Sound and video are good. Marcia's here. Hello, Marcia. All right, good. We're in business. What time is it? 5:03. Running late. Let's get going. Let's play Ode to Joy. Still got last night's sheet music on here. Obviously, didn't get any practice in today yet. Ode to Joy. G-H-I-J-K-L-M-N. Ode to Joy. Here we go. All right, Ode to Joy. You're playing Beethoven, so you have to do it good, right? Because he's serious. I was working on the guitar version of this yesterday. There's a lot of chords in this thing. It's actually a pretty sophisticated little piece of music. You know, Beethoven knew a little bit about writing music, but this song itself is really easy on harmonica. It's probably the easiest because it's all quarter notes with a couple of exceptions, and I love playing it. Hey Sandy, 80 degrees up there. Oh geez, 82 up in Vancouver. We had an 80-ish degree day, but it has been rainy and cloudy all day. It feels like I should be in Eugene, Oregon. So yeah, let's see. Joy, we had a good rain most of the day today. Yeah, Marianne's right. Marianne and I live very close to one another, and we've had a very much of a slog of a summer. So I'm going to play Ode to Joy in celebration of a rain. We get about 2 inches of rain a summer, and we got it all on one day this year. All right, from the top, 4-beat count in, blow 5. We'll play it 2 times through. Don't play measure 16 the last time through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dum, dum. Nice. All right. That always blows the cobwebs out. Love it. All right. Next on our list of the hits. Oh, I don't know if did I hit update on this? I hope so. Sometimes I wander in and I think that I did what I did, but then it doesn't look like I did what I did, but you did, so I did, so we're good. All right. Soft Kitty. Let's go take a look at that. I mentioned yesterday, and you guys have heard me say this before. Soft Kitty comes from the show Big Bang Theory, and if you have never seen the show, then you don't know the song. But if you've seen the show, you're like, oh yeah, you totally need to know how to play that on harmonica. Soft Kitty, and I use this exact piece of paper a lot of times when I'm teaching teachers how to offer instant ensemble classes, because look at everything that's on here. It's all ready to go for anybody who wants to play music. There's the chords C and G7. There's only 2 chords, and every single instrument C and G7 are chords that you would need to know. So we've got them here on guitar and on ukulele, and then you've got your melody line that any trained musician would be able to play. And then you have a fancy thing in 2/4 time, which makes it kind of interesting. And you've got first repeat, second repeat. You've got a connection to old school music that was written for a kid's songbook that was swiped from the television show and all this stuff. So it's actually, there's a lot of fun, interesting things on here. You got a full tab for guitar and a full tab for ukulele. And just all the way around a very useful piece of music. It looks like I built it originally in 2019. Just been a very happy little piece of music that I've had for many years, that I love teaching this song. Now, for a while, people were watching that show pretty religiously, and everybody, a lot of people knew the song, and so when I would hand it out, people would be like, yes. These days, less people know the show, or at least less people I run into know the show, and so they don't get quite as enthusiastic about this. But I want you to be enthusiastic about it. Look at your notes: 6s, 5s, and 4s. That's it. That's all you got here. And the joke in the show is if you make a mistake, you have to start over and start again. Which obviously that's the worst advice you give any musician. When you make a mistake, you embrace it. You are thrilled that you played the song a little bit different than is written on the paper, and then you proceed on. Right. So don't ever think of there's such a thing as a bad note. You just played it differently in that moment. Let's give it a try, and let's talk about how you count in 2/4. 2/4 means there's 2 beats in a measure. Always that top number means how many beats there are in a measure, and the bottom note tells you what note counts as 1. So in this case, there's going to be 2 quarter notes. That's what 2/4 means. And if you look at the piece of music, it makes sense, right? There's a quarter note, and then measure 1, a quarter note, and then 2 eighth notes. So those 2 eighth notes equal a quarter note, so there's your 2 beats. Same thing in measure 2. Measure 3, you've got 4 notes, but they're each an eighth note, so those are worth half a beat each. Half, 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 half. You add them up, you got 2 beats. Okay. Measure 4 only has 1 note, but it's worth 2 beats. So there is an important reason to use the standard notation, at least from a rhythmic perspective, is that it really helps you know where to put your notes in. You can also, on harmonica, eventually decide that you want to learn how to play just reading the notes without the tablature. That's a decision that you'll make when you're ready to become a serious harmonica player, or not. You may never make that decision. I have not made that decision myself. I still need tablature for most of the stuff. When I'm writing out the tab, I'm amazed at how smoothly and easily I can fill those in now. I'm pretty good at it, but I certainly don't. That's not my main thing. I play too many other instruments, and the notes are always somewhere else on every instrument. It's just too many to memorize. Or it's not too many to memorize. It's too many. It's more than I'm willing to memorize. And so I always use the tablature, but I'm not using the tablature without the notes, right? You can go on the internet and you can find all kinds of harmonica tabs that don't have any notes attached to them. You're supposed to just know how the song goes, and to me that feels kind of unmusical. In this case, I'm going to be looking at the tab, but I'm also going to be simultaneously looking at those notes up there to make sure I get the timing right. And of course, especially when you're playing in ensemble with other people, you need to get your timing right. If you're playing everything as a soloist, then you can kind of monkey around with that. But when you're in an ensemble, we want to play everything as close to right as possible. And you are automatically, by being in harmonica class, in an ensemble class, because you and I are playing together. Okay, so that's what I know about the music. Here, that's everything there is to know about the very limited amount of music on this page. From the top, 2 beat count in, 1 and 2 and then we'll go. All right, here we go. 1 and 2 and. The other thing to think about in terms of performing, we almost always slow down at the end of a song, and so per, those will be a little bit longer just because we're slowing the song down. And I think if you have somebody that you want to teach harmonica to, this would be one of those songs I'd put high on the list. Obviously, our Monday through Sunday songs have all been industry-approved sort of beginner-type songs, and I leave those on our day 1 book because they're public domain. You don't have to worry about copyright. Soft Kitty, unfortunately, is kind of a mess right now. The book itself was published in 1937, so it's still technically under copyright. The song is now popular on a television show, so there may be some copyright issues there. And of course, the author who claimed copyright for it lost in a lawsuit, so she doesn't apparently get anything for this becoming popular on a network television show. And anyway, she's dead, of course, but her grandchildren wanted money. Anyway, they lost. All right, so there's Soft Kitty. I love that song. I hope you do too. Let's go take a look at Streets of Laredo. Now, Streets of Laredo, I am going to update this with all 6 verses, or I shouldn't say all 6, with more verses. These 3 that I picked here tell the basic story and they get the job done, but there's a lot of other verses that go to this song, and they're all dumb, and so that's why I cut them out, just to keep this onto 1 page, but that was a dumb decision, so I'm going to fix that. Here's what's kind of fun about Streets of Laredo. You're playing in 6/8 now, so that means there are 6 beats in each measure. Hey Vic, welcome in. It's sunny in Eugene and raining here. That doesn't make any sense. And Robin is late again. Right? Robin, you're not late. You are on time for Robin time. So that's one thing we have discovered. You are never late. You're always on time according to Robin, the Robin clock. Streets of Laredo. So let's talk about 6/8 time. It's one of those things that comes up all of the time. Why do we count 6/8 in 2? So there are 6 beats in every measure, and the 8th note is what is used as beat 1 beat. So go to, what's the best measure to look at? Measure 7 is the cleanest measure to look at that. Measure 7 has 6 plain old all-American factory issued 8th notes in there. Wrapped in white linen and dun dun 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 wrapped in white linen and, so that's what's going on. That's how many beats, clean and pretty, in measure 7. It tells you exactly why it's in 6/8 time. 6/8 notes. It's not without noticing that Do you notice the big space at measure 7 between the first note and the second note? It looks like there should be a timing difference there, but there's not. The reason that that's farther apart is, look at the lyric underneath it, wrapped, W-R-A-P-P-E-D. That's one syllable, and it takes up a lot of space, so it pushes all the other notes to the side. And so when you see gaps like that on paper, don't get deceived that that means that there's a longer beat there, because there's not. On harmonica, you're going to play 4, 4, 4, minus 4, 5, minus 5. That's all you're going to do. And they're all going to be evenly spaced. On the paper, they get wanky because the lyrics, the length of the lyrics actually determine the length of the syllable in the lyrics determines how much spacing there is on sheet music. And there are ways to set that where it doesn't do that, but then you end up with all this wasted white space on paper. And so I don't do that anymore, because it just makes it actually makes it quite a bit harder. And so you just have to know there's 6/8 notes in every measure, and that's a perfect measure of it. However, we don't really count music like that in 6/8. We really count it as 1, 2, 1, 2. In our heads, we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But you're really not even doing that. You're thinking as 1 dun dun, 2 dun dun, 1 dun dun, 2 dun dun. And so when we talk 6/8, it's pretty important that, because it's going to come up a lot, that you're thinking of it in 2. Then when you go back to measure 1, where you see sort of 6 notes, the first note in measure 1 is a dotted 8th note. That is actually longer, and it's followed by a 16th note, and you can tell because it has 2 little flags on it. And they're slurred, right? As I walked out on the streets of Laredo, as I walked out on Laredo one day, you'll see that measures 5 and 6 are all normal, regular notes, and so it's kind of there's less interest in playing it. But up at the top, measures 1 and 2, they've got 8th notes connected to 16th notes, and you even have one note that's slurred. Those all matter when you're playing. Dun 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 dun. Right, and so that those notes with the dots are longer than the notes without the dots, and they're almost always, not always, but almost always paired with a super short note that follows it. And so in this case, it's exactly what you'd expect: a little bit longer note with the dot paired by a note that's quite a bit shorter, half this length of time, to get that right. And so if you know the song, it just will magically come out of your harmonica. But a lot of times we don't know the song, and so we're relying on the notes to tell us what to do. All right. This is 3 times through. Let's go ahead and do all 3 times. It's only 8 measures long. And you're going to blow 6. We're going to count in 2, 1, 2, but then the first note's a pickup note on beat number 6. So before you get to the next beat, you want to get started. 1, 2, as I, dun, 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 dun. Right, so you start just a tiny bit before that next beat happens. I think that's the main stuff to talk about on this one. On my sheet music, I've changed the very last note. Measure 9 is a 4. I wrote in 7 on mine, and a little bit hard, sometimes it's hard to hit the 7, so I have a question mark after it. But I think hitting a 7 will sound better than hitting the 4. Let's give it a try. From the top, 2 beat counting 3 times through. 1, 2. about that. Yeah. So he's dead. Very sad. But he had done wrong, whatever that means. And there we go. It's a song that was originally, I understand, probably of Celtic or Scottish origin, and then when they brought it over to the United States, they just changed the word to be cowboy words, which happens all the time in folk music, which is kind of fun. Like they're like, that song doesn't mean anything to us anymore. Let's change the words, and then now these are the words that we play in the United States anyway. And I don't know if there's an original version up there. It's very murky where all this stuff, but they're planning this kid's funeral in the middle of the street after he had been shot in a bar. And it's all very goofy. And he's got all this sort of romantic version of how his funeral's going to go. And you're like, dude, that's really not how this is going to work. You're going to be dead. They're going to throw you in a ditch, and that's that. So, I don't know. Very cute. Streets of Laredo. Maybe they probably didn't do that. They probably tried harder. All right. There's our diatonic for the day. Let's see. Next up, grab your chromatics. And we're going to, we have Wonderful World. I see it, I'm like, this is going to hurt. So let's grab Wonderful World. I cleaned my harmonica yesterday. Finally got the water out of it. But the slide is still it's just not responding fast enough. Blop, blop. So I'll probably have to redo it. All right. Wonderful World. All right, here we go. Let's talk about some musical stuff. One, notice that to measure one, you have the segno. That means at some point you're coming back there. You also have a repeat there. So at some point you're coming back there twice, and it makes sense because there's 3 sets of lyrics. Second thing you'll notice at measure 13, we go into the first repeat. So 14, 15, and 16 you're going to do the first time, but not the second time. The second time you jump down to 17. You're going to play all along, happy as a clam. Measure 32, you're going to, measure 32 says DS al coda. So that means you're going to go back to the segno and play to the coda. So when you hit that repeat at 35, you go back to measure 1 because that's where the segno is. And then you're going to play down the third time you come through on the top there. When you get to the end of 13, that's where the coda is. And so that's when you jump to the other coda, which is sitting at measure 36. So when you get to 13, then you jump to page 2 and play on from 36. Once you get to 36, you play to the end. Everything is hunky-dory. The only change I have on my sheet music is at measure 16, I tied that over. What a wonderful world. I put a rest in right before I see. It feels like a place rather than a tied note. You should probably take a breath there. So let's see how we do it. Not too much button pushing, so when we have songs that only have a little bit of button pushing, it's easy to fall asleep. I do it all the time. You guys hear me all the time. But you really don't have to push the button until you get to measure 22, and then all of a sudden, just once, right? And then I look like again at 26, but you're like, oh, shoot, got to push the button. So just try to, sometimes if there's only a couple places, maybe not a bad idea to mark it, right? Hey, you got a button push coming up here. All right. 2/4 times, same as Soft Kitty, so it's 1 and 2 and then we're going to go, and this is a pretty slow song, so that's why it takes so long to play this and why we're going to be out of breath by the time we finally get there. Let's see how it goes. Blow 3, play it as written. 1 and. Phew, I guess that wasn't too bad. I was all worried. I was like, oh god, we're gonna die playing this song. Not too bad. Let's see. What is next up? John, America the Beautiful. Hey, we're already over time. Let's grab America the Beautiful and we'll play it through just one time so that we've done it. So that way we've gotten to everything by Tuesday. I like to try to do that. Whoops, that's not it. Where are you? Yeah, you're supposed to play it through twice. Let's just do it one time, okay? And it's supposed to be kind of jaunty pace, so we generally know this song, right? And again, not very much button pushing. Is there any button push? There's one note somewhere there where you push the button. I feel, yeah, there it is. Major 7. Major 7 is where the button is. All right, let's play it real quick. Don't get all patriotic on me because it's a mess, right? Just think of Purple Mountain Majesties. I live in Colorado. It's about Pike. She was inspired to write this when she was sitting on the top of Pikes Peak. Here we go. 3-beat countdown, and let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3. I blew 4. Let's blow 3. 1, 2, 3. Drum. All right. I mean, these America songs get more and more ironic as time goes along. There, we've played it. All right. So tomorrow we have Simple Gifts, and then we will check back in with Red Red Wine. We'll for sure play Wonderful World a second time, and Water is Wide probably. And so I hope you're having a good day. Hopefully your lungs are solid and feeling strong so that they're just knocking this stuff out like it's no big deal. I know after getting COVID, it took me a while to get my lungs back in shape, but they feel like they're doing it now. And so hopefully that's the same for you. We will be talking again this week about bending notes. I'm taking a course on blues harmonica, trying to figure out what the heck that is. And so I'm getting all inspired by bending notes. And so I want you to continue to be working on that. And that's where you take your lovely diatonic harmonica and pick one of the low notes, and you're going to just go wah, meow. Right, so it's just meow, meow, and you're just using your inner muscles to do that. I want you to be working on that, and I think we're going to start doing a daily practice on that until one of you says, I did it, I bent my notes. Right? Mostly I hear people say, it's not working. So, all right, have a wonderful day, you guys, and yeah, see, that's what my bends are still horrible. That's what I hear most of them, right? And it's because we don't work on them, and so I want to start working on them because I do think it'd be fun for us to have one or two songs that are really bluesy, right? Where you can go in and just bend everything through there. So there you go. If I was American, I would almost even feel patriotic. It does make you feel kind of patriotic, doesn't it? And it's just, it's just a lovely song about the United, not even the United, just about America. But I don't know. It's just been such a long, crazy time in politics around here. And the reason is we have a television station that wants to make money by scaring people, and it's working for them quite well. And so all of a sudden, the whole country feels like it's a mess, and it's probably not as bad as it seems, but it seems pretty bad. All right, you guys. All right, guys. All right. Yeah, we'll get all that. We'll fix all these problems. We'll fix America, and we will fix blues, bending your harmonica notes, and all of that stuff's going to happen. So don't worry about it. All right, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening.